Alright guys, this is Tony with Southern Style again. I'm working on I'm gonna show it to you. The big blue lunchbox. Just bought this trailer. The guy who owned it before I did must have run it up over top of a curb or something. Maybe he did it getting out of his driveway. His driveway had a pretty rough spot. But let me set this phone down real quick. See what I've got going on here. I've got a license plate off of another trailer that I bought a long time ago. Actually, it was the donut trailer. It came out of Indiana, and I have the license plate left over. I've done a couple different ideals on this. All right, how about that light? I came with a couple different ideals. I'm gonna show this to you. This is my last revision. I hope this works. You can see right here. That's the sewer line where the dump is. And it come out here, and it was connected to this. It was just hanging on a chain. They must have run up over top of something and broke it off. When they snapped it off here, you know, it was like hanging here and they just broke it. When I bought the trailer, it was set in a spot where I was set in a spot where I could not tell what we had going on. So I pull this out. That was like pushed all the way inside of it. And I built this piece. But I'm gonna show you what it is. You can see it right here. You see that? It's busted there. It's busted here. This crack goes all the way around the side. Pulling it. Let's see if I can pull it maybe where you see it. See that? It was just pouring. I put some water in it, and they put some I put some water in it, and it just run out on the ground. This was pushed all the way. It was still on the pipe, and it was like, you know, they had it like on the pipe, pulled up like this, and glued it. That's not how it works. Okay. Now this grommet is still good. This rubber piece, and look how wide that gap is on there. I mean, look how thin this stuff is. Let you look at it real close. You see how thin this stuff is? It's insane how thin these tanks are. I don't know how they ride down the road. But anyways, last night I started trying to figure out what I was going to do. Okay, so this is what I came up with. I bought from Menards. I bought some of this plastic like you would use to make like signs and stuff out of. It's real thick. And I started with that, and I made a piece, like a little template kind of thing. But it still doesn't cover that. And I didn't like that. So then I thought, man, I'd like to make it out of aluminum. So I went over on my vise, and I bent this up. Now, this is going to fit, and it fits pretty good. Like, it almost just stays there, you know. And so my plan is to take this piece and drill a couple holes here on each side to hold it on. Maybe put one here, one there. Now back here it's open. Okay, that's just a gap. And once I put it to where I got it where it's going to stay on there, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off. Obviously, I got to scrub this down, take a cheap poker to it, maybe a wire brush. I don't know. Take a bunch of stuff to it and get all this goop off here. I got a scraper and still got, looks like they used some of that, you know, so that Billy Mays, what was that tape? Flex Seal. Well, they tried some of that on there. You know, I've got to get all that off around here so that when I put it on there, put what I want on there, it'll stick. And I've had real good luck with these, and I don't know if you've ever used it before, but it's a clear gutter sealant. It's basically made for metal. It works real well with these boots. You can put it in this gasket part here, and then just it'll seal right in there. And even use it going onto the pipe, because you know that pipe just sits in there. And then what I'll do is I'll put a big hose clamp on this to help clamp it down later after it hardens. But I've had good luck with that. I thought I'd bring you along while I try to clean this. Take my little razor blade thing here. I got a little flat razor. See that stuff? It just peels off. Nasty. It's like, I don't know, like, you know, roofing cement or something. I don't know what all they put on there. They've tried a bunch of different techniques, looks like, trying to get it to seal. And you can't, it's hard to do something like that. You kind of almost have to look at it like it's a car engine and think, well, how do you seal that? You know, what do you do? Well, best thing to do is to come at it like take a solid surface like a piece of aluminum or something like that, or even that plastic would have worked, but I just couldn't get it to form the way I wanted to. And then you can't just keep putting silicone on there, or sealants of some sort. Your ideal is that it's a good ideal, but what'll happen, and it probably would work if this trailer never moved. But what happens is we go to these events, and you go set up, right? And when you're setting up at an event, you have to have this sewer. It can't leak. You can't leak all over a parking lot. And what you do is you'll fill this sucker up, and then when we go to leave that event, well, this tank will be plumb full. It'll be full to the top. It'll have 65 gallons of sewer in it. I know it's just gray water, just sink water, and it's not the end of the world. But I may be 60 miles from home. What do? Do you go find a campground and a dump station, or do you bring it home and dump it? I've got an actual dump station here in my garage that I put in for a camper, and I back them in the garage and push them through my own dump station. Goes into my own septic systems. But everybody's got their own thing. That's just how I do mine. I bring it home. You may just find some people dumping it on the ground or whatever. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I've got a system for it here that I built into my house when we built it. Because when I built my house, I originally had a big fifth wheel sitting here. We lived in it, in my garage. So while we was building the house, we lived in that fifth wheel. Well, you had to have some, But you gotta get most of this garbage off here. At least what's gonna be behind the piece of metal, It's kind of tedious, but you gotta get it off. Once you get this off here, and that tape stuck, but it just leaked. It just never was right, I'd say. I know they told me they'd had a lot of issues with their water. I don't know. They said they thought it was from freezing up, but nah, it looks like they just ran over something. It happens, It's low. It's a very low point on this trailer. This trailer don't set very high off the ground. It don't set, I don't know, looks like maybe 14, 16 inches off the ground. So it's always going to be a crapshoot. You drag it a couple times and you tear it up. But now that glue I'm going to use, I'm still kind of just putting glue on it because, it's still just going to be glue between this and the piece of aluminum. But my ideal is I'm hoping that aluminum will keep it from buckling like that, and coming out. If that glue is on that aluminum, and I've got a bolt here and a bolt there, and a bolt there and a bolt there, and a couple on top, and the bottom's still going to be kind of free, and I've got this glued in, I'll put glue around this gasket on this, and I'll glue it in there, and hopefully all that together, once it hardens, I won't do nothing with it. I'll bolt it, glue it, and I'll put washers on the back side of those bolts and stuff, and I'll hold it in there. And then hopefully, once that glue sets up, it'll kind of harden up. And what I'm going to use, I've got some left over. We're working on the renovation house, and I've got some, at that renovation house, I've got some of that glue I use for that metal. And that's my plan, is to use that glue on there. And that'll probably take care of it. That's just like 40-year glue on your roof, So we'll see. I mean, I think it will. You gotta have, like I said, you gotta be able to hold that weight back. What is 65 times 8? Whatever that weight is. That's how much weight we slashing against this thing. Lisa's in the house, but that's how much weight is going to be banging against this for, it could ride 50, 60 miles home. Who knows? And this is a thin tank. Now, on my donut trailer, the tank was probably twice as thick as that. It was made out of this stuff. I bought it, but it was that thick. I mean, so look at the difference in that stuff. That's paper thin. That's what's underneath your campers. That's why they say don't ride down the highway with your camper with waste in it, because they're that thin. That's a camper tank is what that is. RV tank, I guess you'd say. So whenever people say, when they recommend you dumping that tank before you leave the campground, this is why. They're thin. And unless you've got some kind of system underneath of it to support the weight, I mean, they're liable to have issues, and I hope this will be okay. I mean, I've got these tanks underneath our RV. That's what it came with, and we travel with it. Well, my wife has, and it takes it. I guess she wouldn't. She's not gonna be. She's not the kind of person to stop and dump it every time she used the bathroom. She's more of the kind of person that drive it and call me from the side of the highway going, something's leaking. But it is what it is. But like I said, you want to strip it back as far as you can when you're doing stuff like this, because if you don't, you're going to end up with, it's not going to make a good bond. If you don't make a good bond, then you're just spinning your wheels. You want this stuff to really sit in here. Looks like a tape tried, didn't it? No, I mean, it's on there, but it didn't hold no weight back. I mean, they taped it way back up here. You can see it right there. That's it though. It's got to be that. It looks dead up for that, that famous tape they put on. That's that stuff they put on the bottom of a boat, take it across the lake. That's crazy. It stuck. It tried. Just wasn't good enough. It still just poured out. It may have worked. Like I said, if you was sitting in sitting stationary all the time in a parking lot, it probably would have worked. But we're hauling it everywhere. It just wasn't gonna be our thing. I wish we had a place to put it in a parking lot, like a real restaurant. It's not gonna happen. But like my wife said, we can figure it out. She said, if you can jury rig it, anybody can, you can. My buddies always used to tell me, I'll give you a paper clip and a piece of bubble gum and you build me a four-wheeler. And, I'm real good. I tell you, one of my best qualities is working with what I got. I may not be able to do a whole lot more of anything else, but I can sure take something that I have and make it into something. Take 6 hand tools and some materials, I'll build you a house, It might take me six times as long as anybody else, but that's all I need. Alright, let's see that. Hopefully that's enough. I can still feel it on there. Don't like it. Piece of my license plate there. If it's sharp enough to cut me, I guess it'd be sharp enough to get that off there, you think? I'm a hoarder, I guess, is what my wife tells me. It says I'm a hoarder, that's why. But it came to help, that license plate. I couldn't throw it away. I should have a year ago. But look at me. I needed a piece of aluminum. That's what it is. Aluminium. All right. I don't know if I like it or not. Still digging pieces out like that. It's insane. As hard as it get off there, you sure would think that it would be a. All right. I'm liking it. I'm getting it over there. See it coming off with that knife? It's a pretty important spot right here, wouldn't you? It means the crack is right there. It'll be a pretty important spot to get all the goop off of it. Make sure my new goop will hold on there. Alright, I'm liking it. Getting there. Hey, look at this, it just peeled off there. cleaner on it. Oop, maybe broke the end off of it. Look at that, cleaning it right up, brand new. Oh man, I got it on my roll of paper towels. Them Viva paper towels too, baby. Ain't no cheapins. I went in the house, stole them from my wife. She don't know it yet. She come out here and see me with them. At least it's about losing on me. That's some expensive paper towels. The same thing as them blue ones you get, just more expensive because they sold for women. Well, I say it, household. How's that? They sell them inside. They advertise them. Them blue ones are blue, but they're about the exact same thing. Actually, blue ones may be a little stronger. This old trailer, it's pretty good. It looks like it's, you know, it's got some quirks. It's got some things that I've got to fix, like some wiring issues. This is the worst one, I think. But the wiring issues is going to be it's going to be one of them deals. But what was that? See, there's a wire. That's got to be trailer brakes. Don't break that off. Don't tear that up, Tony. All right, I just want to show you what I was into. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna post this video, and then when I get the other goop, I got to run by the renovation house because it's all there, and then I'll get that. I'll go get the goop and put behind that patch, but and then I'll show you when I put that on. I'll do a video showing me put that on. But boy, that stuff turns into, with that brake parts cleaner there, look at that, it just turns into like paste. It has to be like a roofing cement or something they put on top of that. But here we are. I mean, it's sticky, but I think it's cracked right there too. No, I did that. Just looks bad. But see, it comes off. That brake parts cleaner. See, that's crazy. I don't know what that is. Just goo gone. I'll probably take it off. But you got to get it off there. Cleanliness. You got to get it clean for your new stuff to stick. You don't want it to have any way of getting in there. It's just like if you was taking and doing a pond. That's weird analogy, right? But if you was doing a pond and you had like when they do ponds and stuff, they don't leave. You know why they cut the grass off? Because if they leave that grass up there on top and then they just build a pond dam taller, that grass will rot and it'll actually turn into a joint that allows water to go through. I've seen it firsthand. I watched a guy, he had this beautiful, beautiful lake dug. And it was pouring rain. It was over here in Bergen, Kentucky. I'll never forget. It's probably 15, 20 years ago when I saw it. It was the prettiest lake I ever seen in my life. And so anyways, and it was full. It was pouring rain. It was full in this beautiful place. And he's like, yeah, I just got done building that dam. Got it done, this year and everything. And they call it cutting the keyway. Is what they call it whenever they take and dig all that off and kind of move the dirt around. So it'll make it actually, seal. It'll make the dam seal across it. Anyways, he's like, come here and check it out. We got on this little side-by-side road around there. Sure enough, it looked like a waterfall coming out of the backside of that dam, about 8 feet down. It was flat all the way across. Like, you could feel the vibration in the ground. We were standing on the dam. And he's like, check it out. He's like, I left the dirt. I just left the grass on it, and I added to it, and this is what you get. And I was like, golly, it was crazy. I'd never seen nothing like it. But that's what happens if you leave all this on here, and you put that sealer on there. It'll stick to that and not to the plastic below it. And then it'll cause it, once it gets pressure on it and starts bowing, it'll just weep right out. And then I'll have leaks on the ground. And I had to explain that to the health department. Because in Kentucky, health department don't play no games. I'm telling you. The other states, they might let you by with some stuff. But in the state of Kentucky, man, they ain't pulling no punches on stuff like this. They shut you down. They don't play around. Health department don't. They'll take it. They come out and see something wrong with your truck. They don't like it. They put a halt to everything. I think we're like the 16th hardest district in the state, in the United States, to pass health code on these food trucks and stuff. I think everything, but with food trucks especially. It's brutal. I think that's gonna seal. That's a pretty good surface, don't you think? I mean, y'all sitting here watching it. What do you think about it? I think if it's gonna seal anywhere, it'll seal here. Anyways, now that I put it all over my goop, my license plate, wash this thing out real quick. I should have moved that before I put all that dust all over it. What was I thinking? Rubber goop dust. But as you can tell, this is round down here, and I couldn't, you know, I'm primitive, like I said. I only got like 6 tools in my shop. You've seen all my tools. Half the time they're broken. Anyways, I'll clean this off real good. Good enough. I kind of made it look like this. You know, that's the piece. And it fits right up over top of this. Maybe. I'd say it does. And then push it in like that. Put it like that. Put it like this. There it is. See? It's stay on there. And then my ideal is to fill it full of goop. I'm going to take and put it on there now, and I'm going to pre-drill the hose. And then, let me go ahead. I'll use this gasket here to hold it in. The gasket goes in like this. It'll hold it right in there. Once you get half the gasket on, to get these gaskets on, you'll push them in like this, and then it'll go right on there. Make sure it's on there. Get where I want it. All right, that'll ride. That'll work. I'm going to put a hole right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. I'm just going to leave those loose, put some goop on them. And then when I fill it up with goop, I'm going to fill the whole back of this thing up and push it up on there. And then I'm going to pull my bolts through, tighten them down. And while it's doing it, I'm going to go ahead and put this to hold it. I'll go ahead and put the goop on it, seal it all in there, let it sit up. While it's doing that, get the bolts done. And then my ideal is to put the goop in here. I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to put goop in here, slide my piece back on there, my pipe. All right. Go ahead and hang it back up on the hanger over here. I'll show you where the hanger is. Hang it back up on the hanger right here. And then, after that, I'll have the whole thing mounted. It's going to look, you know, it's going to look like a license plate on it. But I think that's seal. I think when the water puts pressure against it, as long as this is holding on here and here and up here, it's all held on, and it's all sealed, and that sealant holds. It's not going to bow enough to leak through it. And you know what? If it leaks, I'll let you know. If it don't, whatever. I'll let you know both ways. I mean, that's the best idea I could come up with you know, my bubble gum and paper clips. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna do this video here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drill the holes in it, get it ready, get the sealant on it, and, you know, get it ready to do. I'll bring you back in when I'm after I get my holes drilled and I get the sealant and stuff. As I'm installing it, I'll bring you back in and show you how I install it and get it all in there. But you know, you get the gist of it. That's what we're gonna do. And I appreciate you for watching. Like and subscribe.